Welcome to this explainer. I am so thrilled you're here today because we are looking at one of the absolutely most compelling stories unfolding in sports right now. Okay, picture this. We're in the heart of Toronto, under the bright lights of SoBe Stadium. The energy is just electric, and right at the center of it all is a 23-year-old Laval native completely carrying the hopes of an entire nation on her shoulders at the 2026 National Bank Open. Her name is Leylah Fernandez, and today we're going to break down exactly how she's handling this immense spotlight.
Okay, let's dive into this. For a country that absolutely loves its tennis, playing a home tournament comes with a massive mountain of pressure. But for Leylah Fernandez, pressure isn't a burden, it's literal fuel. Right before she stepped onto the court for her opening match, her father gave her a pretty stark reminder of what was at stake and who was watching. She told reporters that his words lit a little fire in me, transforming all that hometown anxiety into raw, driving motivation.
Part 1. The Last Canadian Standing.
To really understand the immediate high-stakes reality of this tournament for her, we have to look at how she is standing completely alone. The draw originally started with 8 local women, and on the men's side in Montreal, 6 Canadians were in the main draw. But, well, the local hopes just took a massive hit. Second seed Felix Auger-Aliassime withdrew hours before his match. Denis Shapovalov and Gabriel Diallo, they both had to retire mid-match. Suddenly, Leylah was the sole remaining Canadian in the singles draw, and she's openly stated that carrying this weight motivates her to keep the fans believing. She wants to be the reason they keep cheering.
Now, what's really interesting about this is how she actually responded on the court. Entering as the number 30 seed and coming off a first-round bye, she faced Mexico's Renata Zarazua. The result? A clinical, devastating 6-2, 6-2 victory. Fernandez was an absolute force. I mean, she faced only 2 break points the entire match while earning 5 of her own. Her forehand was just a lethal weapon, her movement was incredibly sharp, and she completely dominated from the baseline.
You could tell the relief and joy were totally palpable. After the match, she posted this beautiful message capturing her emotional reaction to that packed stadium of Canadian fans, saying the Toronto energy was exactly what her heart needed. This win was so much more than just advancing to the next round, you know? It was a massive statement of resilience. It proved that when the lights are brightest and she's literally the only one left to carry the flag, she doesn't shrink, she thrives.
Part 2. Heritage, Family, and Friendship.
To really understand Leylah's success, we have to look at the support systems off the singles court that keep her grounded. For Leylah, tennis is intrinsically a family affair. While she was making waves in singles, she also teamed up with her younger sister Bianca in the doubles draw after snagging a wild card. Now, their run was short-lived. It ended in a quick 1-hour match against the 6th seeds, Mertens and Schneider. But honestly, what matters here is that it was their first time playing together as partners since last year's Montreal event. For the Fernandez family, just sharing the court at a tournament of this magnitude is a deeply special, grounding moment.
And that support system extends way beyond family to some incredible friendships on tour. Take 20-year-old Alex Eala, who recently made history as the first Filipina to win a tour-level title. On the court, they are fierce rivals, splitting their recent matchups. But off the court, they're building a fantastic friendship. Eala called Fernandez a really great person, and Leylah even offered to give her a personal tour of Toronto. My favorite part is Leylah's charmingly honest joke in a press conference where she confirmed they were friends, but added with a laugh, "Unfortunately, I don't have her number." It just goes to show you can be fierce competitors and still be great friends.
This friendship also highlights a really vital part of Fernandez's identity. Leylah is of Filipino descent through her mother, and the support she gets from Toronto's massive Filipino community is simply overwhelming. As Fernandez herself pointed out, the Filipino fan base is uniquely loving and present globally. Between the Canadian flags and the Filipino flags waving everywhere in SoBe Stadium, Leylah is drawing serious strength from this beautiful intersection of cultures.
Part 3. Upgrading the coaching team. Of course, all that raw talent and crowd support needs elite guidance to win championships. So in late July, Fernandez made a massive addition to her team by bringing on coach Eric Hechtman. This is a guy who coached Serena Williams during her iconic 2022 retirement run. He's worked with Venus Williams, guided Hailey Baptiste. He brings a deep championship-level pedigree right to her corner. Hechtman has publicly stated that they share a very competitive philosophy, and his explicit goal is to help her get to the next stage and finally win a Grand Slam.
But I should definitely clarify, but this isn't a replacement. Her father, Jorge Fernandez, is still her head coach. A big reason for this addition is purely practical. Leylah explained that her dad also has other projects. He needs dedicated time to coach Leylah's sister Bianca, as well as another promising junior athlete named Jaden. So this is really just about expanding the team's bandwidth.
So the crucial point is how this new dynamic actually functions in practice.
Tennis fans might remember a hot mic incident back in May 2026 in Strasbourg. It caught her father giving a rather harsh mid-match pep talk, and it drew some intense fan criticism regarding his coaching style. But Fernandez has been crystal clear. This new, balanced coaching arrangement is actively working for her. She notes that Hechtman and father have a great relationship, they talk a lot, and the communication is incredibly healthy. It's just a smart, strategic evolution for her career.
Part 4. Life beyond the baseline.
Finding balance away from the grueling tennis tour is essential for any elite athlete, right? And Leylah's off-court life perfectly humanizes her. Before the tournament even began, she stepped out with her boyfriend, Vincent Boily, for a very different kind of athletic challenge over at the Rogers Center. She was invited to throw the ceremonial first pitch at a Toronto Blue Jays game. Now, despite facing down 100-mile-per-hour serves for a living, she admitted she was more nervous than excited to throw a baseball. But with Boily, who is himself a Canadian ice-sled hockey player and a Paralympic silver medalist, right by her side, she threw a perfect pitch. And hey, the Jays won 5-1, so she's clearly a good luck charm.
I also absolutely love this hilarious anecdote she recently shared on Andy Roddick's podcast about attending the ESPs in New York City. Leylah is a massive basketball fan, and she actually spotted her absolute idol, Steph Curry. They even made eye contact, but she admitted she was just way too shy to step forward and ask for a picture. Luckily, she says her boyfriend is her exact opposite, super outgoing. So Boily just walked right up to the NBA legend, broke the ice, and started the conversation so Leylah could chime in. It so beautifully illustrates the perfect balance she's found in her personal life.
Part 5. The road ahead.
That balance off the court is going to be incredibly vital as we contextualize the massive importance of the matches right in front of her. Because the truth is, 2026 has really tested her. Her current world ranking sits at 34. Remember, she peaked at number 13 back in August 2022. This season has been a total grind. Entering this tournament, her 2026 match record stood at a tough 12-19. She's been fighting hard, for sure, but those consistent deep tournament runs have been pretty elusive. Let's shift focus and see how this builds. Looking back at the year, you can totally see early flashes of brilliance. In April and May, she made some really impressive quarterfinal runs at the Stuttgart Open, the Madrid Open, and Strasbourg. But since then, she's struggled to replicate that success. Fast forward to August, and she is desperately seeking momentum here at the National Bank Open to turn her year around. Which is exactly why playing in Toronto right now is so pivotal. After a year away from a home crowd, playing in front of a packed, roaring stadium gives her what she describes as goosebumps. She says it makes her feel like a kid on Christmas Day. Actually, whenever she wears that Canadian flag, it brings out her absolute best attitude. She feeds off this energy in a way very, very few players can.
Which brings us to the ultimate question. Waiting for her in the daunting third round is Mirra Andreeva, the reigning French Open champion. It is a monumental clash. Will the upgraded coaching team, the immense love of the Filipino and Canadian communities, and that undeniable hometown energy be enough to conquer a Grand Slam champion? Could this very tournament in Toronto be the ultimate turning point of Leylah Fernandez's 2026 season? I guess we're all about to find out. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and enjoy the match.